This Sunday, February 8th, 2026, pull up to Pizza Mari for the ultimate Super Bowl watch party. We got indoor and outdoor screens, the grill fired up, food and drink specials. The vibe and action ignites at 4 p.m. with pregame fun, music, drinks, and energy you do not want to miss. Prizes for best dressed jerseys and special giveaways all night. Happening in conjunction with One Connect, our sports channel, and 340 Connect. Live streaming on the Tempo Networks and The Source. Powered by Callaloo Media House. So bring your crew and bring the vibe. Pizza Mari Super Bowl. Watch Party. Sunday, February 8th. To learn more or book reservations now at www.340connect.com.
All right, everyone, and welcome to Super Bowl Sunday. I can't wait to be here. We got a lot of information we're going to bring in to everyone that's tuning in. I got my man Anthony Harris with me. We're going to have a great conversation around not just, our sports channel, right? But we have about 2.5 hours before Super Bowl 60, I believe, kicks off at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California, where the Seattle Seahawks will face the New England Patriots for the championship of the 2025 NFL season. So I'm your man, Grant McGaugh of our sports network. I'm going to let Anthony Harris introduce himself. Anthony, what you got to say?
Oh, man, I'm really excited about the Super Bowl. It's a great rematch. And being that I'm a Bay Area guy, this is happening in my home area of Levi Stadium. But a little throwback to the last Super Bowl, my guy Marshawn Lynch from Oakland should have won it for the Seahawks last time. So I hope the Seahawks get revenge.
Are we talking about a little angst? We have not forgotten. And it was a hell of a moment. Let's just frame that. But I think that's a great beginning of what this next game is all about. And probably a lot of players aren't really playing, but the two cities, they still remember. I remember watching that game. I was in a beautiful location there in Miami. We're watching that game. We're watching Marshawn Lynch just take over that game. I mean, because New England had come back and scored. They're coming down the field. Marshawn is ripping off 20 and 30 yards at a pop. You're like, wow, they're down there on the 1 yard line. We're like, give it to the beast. Give it to beast mode. And he threw an interception. How do you feel?
I still feel bad about that. And I still don't like New England for that. And I got history with New England because my Oakland Raiders, my Los Angeles Raiders, the Patriots were the ones with that tuck rule.
Oh, we got to bring
I'm
up
still
all
bitter
the
about
pain,
that.
all
We never
the
recovered.
pain.
We never recovered.
Never recovered. The tuck rule still to this day. And a lot of people, you may not remember, some of our viewers may be a little younger, like Tucker. I don't know. Literally, this happened. I've never seen it before in a football game. There's a couple things. One, I remember the in the snowball game, remember? They went out there, the last second field goal, they went out there with a snowblower and actually cleared the field just for New England to kick a field goal. That was probably the first one. And then the tuck rule where literally anybody and their mother knows football. Tom Brady fumbled that football without question. He tucked it. No, he got smacked and dropped the ball. But here we are today. So you actually got two times where you're a little bit upset with these Patriots.
Oh no, I'm even more upset because if I remember my trivia correctly, Tom Brady is actually from the Bay Area. I think he's from San Mateo.
That's true.
And the Oakland Raiders had rights to him, and he went to the Patriots. And then to have him do the tuck rule and then become the greatest quarterback of all time is just salt in the wound. He's supposed to be playing for the Raiders.
Hey, let's be fair, right? If you're going to bring all that up, I remember the Oakland Raiders. Remember, I got the Pittsburgh Steelers jersey on. You may or may not like that. Everybody remembers.
Respect.
all of
Respect.
that thing. But I also remember when Daryl Stingley got tripled up in a game where he actually, unfortunately, became paralyzed because of your Oakland Raiders. They actually changed rules because of the Oakland Raiders.
So look, that was a preseason game, and it was a clean hit. That's all I'm going to say on that.
I think the Stingley's might beg the difference, but it was a clean hit at that time. At that time, it was, but he got
It's still a clean hit.
Oh my God, man! Helmet,
rough, though.
helmet.
It's a
It was
brutal
not
game.
a good look.
It's a brutal game. As Jack Tatum put the hit on.
Oh man, we could go on and on and on. Me and Anthony, but I'm glad everyone is tuning in because we're talking about some things. Not only obviously what things happen in New England, things happen in Oakland, but we are talking about the Seattle Seahawks. But let's think for a minute. This is what brought us today through the our TV network, our sports channel, because there's so many athletes from the U.S. Virgin Islands, which has a population of about 100,000 people, and that's smaller than some NFL stadiums when they're filled. And yet, this is a Caribbean territory, and it's a U.S. territory, and they have produced, we're talking about 100,000 people, produced 11 NFL players who've competed at the highest level of American football. Isn't that right, Anthony?
I think so. I think it's 11 over how many years? Over what, since 85?
Yeah, something like that, somewhere around in that area. That's true.
So again, I know we have a little bit of a format here, but I'm just gonna jump it a little bit because I'm an Oakland guy.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Asker. I remember when he played, and I was all about Joe Asker because I was like, man, that's a VI guy, and he's playing for my boys.
Yeah. I mean, but there's a lot other people, and we're gonna go. What we're gonna do this hour, we're gonna go through all those players that have come from the VI that you may not know about. This is kind of like Black History Month. This is USVI, NFL history. We're gonna bring all this to the table because me and Anthony, even before we started this conversation, talked about the USVI, the Virgin Islands history is not taught in the mainland. This is Black history. This is African, Europe, or I would say African, Caribbean, and American history. That there's so many impressive people that have come out of the territory, but a lot of people just aren't educated around this. So we want to educate you on the sporting aspects of it all, as well as some other things. So Anthony, tell us how you feel about, first of all, that, because you said you was from Oakland, but tell them about your experience in St. Croix.
So I've been back and forth to the Virgin Islands since late 90s, and it blew me away at some of the greatness that's come out of the Virgin Islands that's just not reported in the history books of the mainland. And it's not just the mainland, it's just Caribbean history, period. And, being that it is Black History Month, I feel like it's important to shout out and give the Virgin Islands their flowers and their credit for, not just producing football players,
Mm-hmm.
basketball players, boxers, sprinters. You name the sport, there's probably a Virgin Islander that did it and did it at a high level. And I think that's the part that was most impressive to me is they're not just competing, they're not just also-rans. They're winning championships and they're playing with the best talent in the world.
I think that says a lot. We're going to start this thing off with one of the players. We're going to just kind of jump in. I want to make sure everybody also knows that our sports channel is going to be also on the One Connect app showing the actual Super Bowl. So you don't have to change. You don't have to go anywhere. It's going to be here. You're going to have Bad Bunny's halftime show and the entire game. This is just our pre-show. We're going to give a little bit of education around this. And we're going to start off with the player. I mean, his name, I think he just recently retired this year or last year. We're talking about Linval Joseph, right? Linval Joseph is a bad, 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 bad boy from Christiansted. Anthony, what do you know about Linval Joseph?
I actually don't know that much about him until we started talking about it today. But again, high level, very, very high level. Not some bench guy. So I'll put it this way. I think the average lifespan of an NFL player is what, 2 to 3 years, maybe 5. It's 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Did he make more than 4 years?
Oh man, that guy played for like 14 years. Let me give you a little context around this dude.
Okay, he's what I'm talking about.
He's got a career from 2010 to 2024, 14 seasons, 203 games, Super Bowl champion in 2011 with the Giants, 2-time Pro Bowl in 2016, 2017, 28.5 sacks, $50 million extension bonus from the Vikings in 2017, 65-yard fumble return for a touchdown versus the 2018 Eagles. This guy is a baller by any means, shape, or form, and he's from St. Croix Christiansted. That should tell you a little something.
That you said it all. And again, those are not normal. That's not a normal feat by football standards. And again, it's one of those things that a lot of people don't know how much talent has come out of the Virgin Islands. And that's why it's important that we talk about it, particularly during Black History Month.
Absolutely. I think what he brings to the table is history. I mean, I remember this guy. I had no idea he's from the island. This guy is a straight up beast when it comes to football. I mean, he heard the stats that I gave you. He was a rookie in 2010. He didn't play much. He only played like 6 games. But in his second year, he became a starter in 2011 and was part of the Giant defensive line that won the Super Bowl. He was only 23 years old. Now, I'm going to go back to what you said earlier. We're talking about an island of maybe 40,000 people. Maybe we'll call it 50. Can't even fill an NFL stadium. There's guys been playing in NFL. They come from like Oakland's about like 4 million people strong as far as population-wise, right? We look at the entire U.S., where these guys come from. A lot of people talk about South Florida, where I lived for 30 years. A lot of guys come out of South Florida, but 6 million people live in that area. We're talking about 40,000 people. This guy jumps up, gets a Super Bowl in his second year, and he does not stop.
You know, and let's put that in perspective, because I'm in South Florida now. You've been in South Florida 30 years. South Florida lives, breathes, and dies football. There's Pop Warner, there's AAU, there's football. It's all day long. Hurricanes is church, right?
Yeah, we hold.
Let's contrast the Virgin Islands. Let's contrast the Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
There's not the same infrastructure to build players. Florida is built for producing football players specifically, and they produce some of the best we've ever seen, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Here comes little old St. Croix. No infrastructure, no notoriety, nothing. And yet, we got Super Bowl champion.
Raw talent. These guys,
raw
I mean, we're talking about
talent.
Linval, raw talent. The guy is a straight up beast. He goes to Minnesota, and I got a cousin of mine that played for Minnesota. Now he plays for the Detroit Lions. His name is Marcus Davenport. This guy here, he's 6'4", 329 pounds. I think he had his own, plane coming out of St. Croix back to the island because he was so big. This guy was an immovable object in the middle of the Vikings defense. The guy is a straight up beast. He signs for like $50 million as an extension in year 4, where a lot of people are retiring. This guy is just getting going, and he scores touchdowns. A guy that big, look how big this dude is. He is large and in charge. You can't even see this guy rumbling. stumbling down the field. And he goes for a 65-yard fumble return against the Philadelphia Eagles. Can you imagine this guy rumbling toward you, Mr. Harris?
No, it's why I don't play football, won't play football because of guys like him. That is a nightmare. If I had the ball, I don't want that man hitting me ever.
No, he's going to wreck you out. There's no doubt about it. But he's now retired. He's done his job. I hope he's coming back to Christian instead of coming to St. Croix. I want people to shout him out. He might be in there now at the sports bar that we were already broadcasting from. You never know. He might be there. We're going to move to our second guy, who's also from the islands. His name is Quentin Coryatt. I'm thinking Corvette, but it must be Coryatt.
So I remember this guy.
Yeah.
Because he played for the Colts, and it was the Colts team that I really enjoyed. I think that was the Colts team with Jim Harbaugh, Captain Comeback. And they were mostly defense, and he was one of the anchors of that defense, just serving hits.
Surfing hits, man. You see his picture up there? That guy, he's a monster. Mm-hmm. Listen to this. Born 1970 in St. Croix, second overall pick in 1992, to your point, by the Indianapolis Colts, who played at Texas A&M. He is a Wrecking Crew legend. He made The Hit, ESPN's Hit of the Year, The Hit. He was Pro Bowl 1993, 150 tackles. This guy's a beast. 78-yard fumble return. He's in his career, 82 games, 8.5 sacks, multiple All-Big Ten honors, Cotton Bowl Hall of Fame in 2018, Texas A&M Athletic Hall of Fame in 2009, the first player from St. Croix to make it to the NFL.
That's again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. These are not bench guys. These are guys that are impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, did you say 150 tackles?
Man,
those are Ray Lewis. Like Ray Lewis, that's Ray Lewis. That's Ray Lewis before Ray Lewis.
Right. This guy's a straight up beast. You don't want to see him coming. He's knocking people out.
If you see him coming, that knows you got hit. You know you got hit.
And you know you got hit. You got hit pretty dang hard. But he's a legend. He's from the islands, right? So he's from right there in the islands. This guy, again, he's been doing it at such a high level for so long. People take these things for granted. We need to know our history. We have to know where people are coming from when they're coming from the islands. People ask me, why, Grant? Why are you going to St. Croix? Because that's where my people are at. That was where my indigenous African Caribbean people live. And these boys is doing it at a high level. We need to shout these guys out and keep them very, very real. We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back because we got a lot more players to cover. But you see the energy that me and Anthony are bringing to the table. This is how we're going to get down. I want you to continue to enjoy the show.
Welcome to our TV network, your ultimate destination for...
This Sunday, February 8th, 2026, pull up to Pizza Mari for the ultimate Super Bowl watch party. We got indoor and outdoor screens, the grill fired up, food and drink specials. The vibe and action ignites at 4 p.m. with pregame fun, music, drinks, and energy you do not want to miss. Prizes for best dressed jerseys and special giveaways all night. Happening in conjunction with One Connect, our sports channel, and 340 Connect. Live streaming on the Tempo Networks and The Source. Powered by Callaloo Media House. So bring your crew and bring the vibe. Pizza Mari Super Bowl watch party, Sunday, February 8th. To learn more or book reservations now at www.340connect.com.
All right, we are back. Thanks for coming back. We're going to talk about this next guy, which I like. I like because his last name is Hodge, right? And I know some Hodge people, down there in St. Croix, Christiansted, Frederickstead. I mean, these guys, they know how to have a good time, but they bring the real truth. So Abdul Hodge, I believe he's from St. Thomas. So he's on that other island that we see over there in the distance. This guy went to the University of Iowa, 3-time All Big Ten linebacker, 2002 to 2005, 158 tackles in 2005. This guy's a beast. He was the best in the Big Ten, the second in Iowa history. Let that sink in. Out Bowl record, 19 tackles versus Florida. Third round pick, 2006 Green Bay Packers. In his NFL career, 25 games, Packers, Bengals, and the Panthers. He founded the Professional Interactive Solutions after NFL and currently tight end coach for the University of Iowa. This is a full circle journey from player to coach at his alma mater. I mean, this guy's a beast. Now, Anthony, do you remember this guy? Look at him.
Again, I'm a West Coast guy, so I didn't really follow the East Coast people, but I think what's I enjoy about his story is he did go full circle. Not a lot of players go from player to coach. That's one of those, I don't want to say there's a ceiling to it, but a lot of guys, it's difficult for them to make that transition. And so for him to still be relevant in the league in terms of in the system, helping other players develop, that's huge. And again, it's another tribute to the greatness of the Virgin Islands. And again, we hit St. Croix first. Now it's St. Thomas's turn.
Oh yeah. And they bring the pain. Now there was a stat out. I heard it earlier on the producer of our show who mentioned Stephen A. Smith saying he's from the Virgin Islands. I said he's from New York City. We had to go ahead and look at it. True story is he was born in New York, but his parents are from St. Thomas. He often reps St. Thomas. My question to you, Anthony, here is because you're from the West Coast, you're not really in that discussion. Is he or is he not a Thomian?
Oh, he's definitely Thomian. And he, look, all the respect in the world to Stephen A. because what he's doing in media is unheard of. I don't know of any other guy that has come from where he came. And I think his new contract with ESPN is $100 million.
Big time.
Like he's taken it to a level that he probably shouldn't have gone to. When you think about where he came from. And then the fact that he absolutely claims the Virgin Islands, even though he was born in New York, I think that says everything.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know some other people that were born in the islands but grew up in New York. You got that New York accent, but every now and then he flips it to that West Indies world. We won't name him right now, but we know who he is. He's a cool dude, man. He's tops in my book. So I'm glad he brought out that stat. Now, we're going to go to number 4. That's Ronaldo Turnbull. Now, of course, the Bull, right? This guy also comes from St. Thomas. Born in 1966, 14th overall pick in 1990 with the New Orleans Saints. Went to the University of West Virginia and played for a national championship in 1988. This guy was no joke. He had a career high of 13 sacks in 93 with the Saints. He went to the Pro Bowl in 1993, the first all-team 1993 Pro Bowl. He played for 8 seasons. He had 120 games, 45 and a half career sacks, 229 tackles, 9 forced fumbles, 7 fumble recoveries, and one of 9 West Virginia Mountaineers selected in the first round. What do you think about Mr. Turnbull?
He's a monster. And just the fact that, again, longevity in the NFL is very rare. To play 8 successful seasons is an accomplishment in itself. But just to play at that level is crazy. 45 career sacks.
Yeah. Just
Nuts.
I mean, these are, like you said it earlier, these aren't guys who just made the squad, right?
No.
These are leaders on the field, right? This guy, look at this guy. Look at this guy. He's coming at you. Look, he's on St. Thomas Island, right? He's probably half the island and he's just one guy. So there's some pretty big people walk around over there on the island. Mr. Turnbull, man, I give him nothing but mad props. Now, you brought up a guy. I'm going to skip to this guy because you brought up Joe Aska. Talk to me about Joe Aska.
Well, so for us, he was a fan favorite during those years because during those years, the Raiders, they weren't good, and they would rotate running backs, and he was in that rotation. And I think he's also got something wrong with his eye. I think he's blind in one eye or something like that. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he did well on the Raiders, I love that. And that was that kind of hard-nosed football that they were playing back then, where they were going to run you down, and he would take hits. He was giving hits. It was really fun to watch. And when I got to St. Croix and realized that he was cruising, that just made me love him even more.
Well, I think I didn't know a lot about him, but as I learned more and more about what he was bringing to the table, and his fortitude. Playing running back in the NFL is probably the hardest position to play. A lot of people don't realize that. They see a lot of the glory, or they're running, getting touchdowns. These guys get hit by the biggest guys in the NFL. So they're getting hit by guys like Turnbull and Linval. These guys, they have to take that kind of punch, and they're not the biggest guy out there. So this guy, he started football and track from Central Oklahoma, coming out of St. Croix. He had 74 carries, 336 yards, touchdowns. He played for the XFL. So he not only had an NFL career, he had an XFL career for New York, New Jersey. He played, I think, a team called the Hitmen. He had about 5 touchdowns with them in the 01 era. And there's a story behind him. He said he won high school race running the last 10 yards going backward. Did you hear what I just said? He won a high school race running backward for the last 10 yards. That shows that this guy was bringing it. So he embodied the grinder mentality. He was a grinder. He never gave up on football. He grinded out there in the black and silver out there in the Oakland tundra, as I'll call it right now.
Yep. Yeah, no, he was fun to watch. I remember watching him and enjoying it, because that's smash mouth, John Madden type football.
Hey, and that's what, to play the game of football takes a certain attitude and fortitude, not just physicality, because there's a lot of guys going to be big as you, a lot of guys going to be as fast as you are. I call it the will. You have to have a greater will in order to be that, I would say, at that level of attainment in the NFL. I played, high school football, right? I can't imagine what it takes to compete at the collegiate level, and then again at the NFL level. So kudos to all our guys that we're shouting out, because all of these people have just been phenomenal, very phenomenal. We're showing you a lot of the different players that came out of the University of, I would say university. There is a University of Virgin Islands, just so people don't know. The UVI is pretty good. I like them. RTP, I want to shout out to all those people over there at this research facility there in St. Croix. But we want to talk about these football players, and I still want to go back to you, Anthony, because somebody who's come out of the Oakland area, and there's a lot of guys that came out of that area playing football. How impressed are you when you really find out how many people competed in the NFL from the U.S. Virgin Islands at that level?
So we had couple of guys from my high school. One guy, what was his name? I think his name was Jeff Barnes. He made a cut for the Raiders. Came out of our high school. He flashed in and out, right?
Yeah.
The other part is, and I said this before, in the Bay Area, there's infrastructure to develop players. They start developing players in Pop Warner. And it's not just football. It's basketball. It's all the sports. And the Virgin Islands isn't built the same way. There's not the same kind of leagues. There's not the same kind of competition. So for these guys to come out without that infrastructure, without the years of practice and the different competition levels, and then not just play, but dominate and win championships. It's really, I don't know if there's a place in the United States that has, that for the population size has produced as many, high level athletes.
I will agree with you. I'm going to run some stats by our audience right now. These are remarkable numbers. You have to understand this. In the U.S., United States, Virgin Islands, that consists of St. Croix, that consists of St. Thomas, that consists of St. John. There's also Water Island. Again, less than 100,000 people total, right? Smaller than most NFL stadiums. Think about that. That means we can take the entire population, put them in a stadium, and they're going to produce 11 NFL players over the last 50 plus years. That's 1 in 9,000, almost 1 in 10,000. That's 11x in the California rate. Out of those, 3 of those are going to be first round picks. 3 first round picks. We're talking about Coryat, second round. Turnbull is 14th. Wadsworth is 3rd. We haven't even got to him yet. Pro Bowl selections, 4. You got Joseph, 2X, Coryat, and Turnbull. Super Bowl champions, we got Linville. We got Super Bowl champions coming out of the stadium, right? And that's 37 plus years of representation from 1987 to 2024. That is pioneering impact. I don't know what, as far as economic impact, pioneer impact, cultural factors, legacy, we got to get more. So my question is going to be to Anthony, how do we get more, first of all, recognition and more players coming out of St. Croix or St. John or St. Thomas to go into the NFL?
I think that's a really good question. And I think it boils down to, again, having places for people, for kids to play and to learn. Like I know they're talking about the sports complex in Frederiksted. Those type of deals can make it easier for young people to know what their options are. I think that's probably the other big thing about it is when you know that somebody else did it before you, it makes it more possible for you to do it. Mm-hmm. So again, having a place for kids to play and then knowing who these athletes are and understanding what they accomplish gives you a bar to reach for. I think it's super important.
And I want people to know that because a lot of times we when we think about the USVI, we think about just tourism. We think that's all that it's about. And it's so much more. We're just talking football. There's basketball. You already know some of the basketball players like Tim Duncan, who came out and become one of the top basketball players of all time. Not just to play, again, not just playing the year, but of all time. We got this guy. His name is Andre Wadsworth. He is he was a defensive end. I think he was born like 74 or something like that. He played for Florida State University, right? First round in the 1998 NFL draft by the Arizona Cardinals. He is from St. Croix, right? So I want people to understand this. Now, he was a transplant. He went from St. Croix. He went up to Miami-Dade County, played for Florida Christian School, right? He was started as a tight end and on that team. Got noticed got recruited, played in the league. I think from like, I can't remember all his time really, but it was in the mid 90s and that type of thing. This guy was a top 10 NFL draft pick, right? And then especially when he went from offense to defense as a defensive tackle, and I'm starting to see a trend here with these USVI people. They go on defense, and these guys become monsters. They are getting tackles, they're getting quarterback sacks. This guy right here was a finalist for the Lombardi Award. Did you know that?
No, but I remember watching him play, and he was a beast, total beast. To me, again, it's amazing that you can produce that many people playing at a high level.
Yeah.
Again, Bay Area, some millions of people, lots of infrastructure, lots of boosters, lots of colleges to pick from.
Yep.
And these guys are making it anyway.
Well, and you said it, because they have other help. Now, Miami's not that far, so you could just jump on a plane, get there, but you have to recognize the talent. A lot of these guys, they get recognized as talent dang near coming out of grade school, let alone going into junior high. And they begin to see these guys because they are they can see how well that they may perform, and they know that. Now, if those scouts, now this is what I don't know, are NFL scouts coming down to St. Croix? Are they there? I would figure they probably should be if they aren't, because these guys, as you see, the statistics we're coming out with are pretty phenomenal in what we're talking about. There's a guy by the name of Jeff Wadsworth. He's another prominent NFL guy. This guy, he was just phenomenal for what he was able to accomplish in the NFL and what they can actually do and can achieve in a football uniform. Now, are you familiar with this particular individual?
I don't remember watching him play. I've heard about him, but to your point about the scouts, how many schools are down on? If you maybe you got 3 high schools.
Yeah,
and that's what I was saying about the competition level, right? It's hard to scout somebody when there's only like 3 or 4 high schools that are competing against each other. When you have big metro area, you're going to play multiple cities. You're going to be around a whole lot of different environments and different training facilities. There's all kinds of other variables. The fact that they perform at such a high level says so much about the talent that comes out of the USVI.
100% and all of that. I mean, this particular individual, again, I said he's phenomenal for what he did. He played from like 1998 to like 2000, just a couple of years, but he was the 3rd round overall pick. Oh, excuse me. Not that was Wadsworth. I'm talking about Jeff Faulkner. He did play from 87 to 1996 out of St. Thomas. He was a defensive end, played for 10 years, longest career of all the early pioneers. So if you weren't watching 87 to 96, this guy was out there knocking people out. We got another guy. His name is Hannick Milligan. He was a defensive back. Because I know they got some speed down there on the island. I know these guys can run, right? So this guy was a DB coming out of St. Croix, 2004 to 2007. He was solid. This guy was solid on special teams. He got out there and you would feel the pain. There's some other guys that are out here. We got Robertson Daniel. He's another DB out of St. Thomas. He's fairly recent, 2016 to 2018. He's also one of these guys that are coming out from a DB perspective. The reason why I bring this up, because I got to put it back in Anthony's face about, these Oakland Raiders. They were known as some beat 'em up guys back in my day. As far as DB, they changed how the game was played. They changed rules becoming these guys. How do you think about these DBs coming out of St. Croix?
I think they represent the toughness that is St. Croix. People in St. Croix are nice and kind, but you cross the line and you'll find out, and that's how these guys play. And my Oakland Raiders, those were all clean hits. I just want to say it was all clean hits.
Man, you gotta look these guys up. You look up a guy named Atkinson, right? I mean, these guys, all those things, why they changed the rules and how you can hit players, especially in the open field. Look up the Oakland Raiders and look at the safeties they had, the cornerbacks that they had, and then look at how many body bag games that they had. They were putting boys out like you don't go across the middle. It's like if you ever watched Lynn Swan, I got my little Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, no,
Swan,
yeah.
Across the middle.
In the 70s, we busted Lynn Swan for sure, for sure. But look, you had your steel curtain. You guys brought it too.
No, we had Mel Blount. We had some, but see, I would say we were a little bit more elegant with it. Where
the steel curtain elegant?
More elegant.
What, elegant for cavemen? Maybe, I don't know.
Tony Dungy played for the Steelers. We don't go going into history and seeing teams and what they mean, and and I still like to say there was two teams. I hate to say it, but like that, I have to put it out. There was two teams I just did not like growing up as a little kid, all the way up. There's two teams. One was the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I just do not like
the Cowboys too. So I love that.
Sorry, Cowboy fans. Let me just
no. I'm not sorry for Cowboys fans. No.
They were too pretty. Dorsett and those guys. They pretty.
Yeah.
Too pretty. No. And then the other one, I'd say, because the Oakland Raiders, I'm telling you, these guys changed. We said, the game is soft now. That's because these guys would take the field and they say, if you ain't cheating, you ain't winning. I mean, that was really their philosophy in the game.
No, it's not cheating. That's called winning.
I remember Casper. I remember
we were winning.
I remember all those guys.
If you weren't winning, what were you doing? Losing.
Hey, Madden football. So people know, right? People play Madden. You're out there. You're playing Madden football. You're doing it, on these game checks and all this kind of stuff. That comes from Madden was that guy was a coach's coach. He got out there and he said, I don't care how you get it done. You look at Al Davis, man, just do it. That they weren't playing. But when it came to Pittsburgh, boy, it was going to be a war.
You guys had some great players, man. I mean, Terry Bradshaw all by himself.
Yeah.
Right? Guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Guy's amazing. And you guys have always had, you normally have, you're defensive minded like the Oakland Raiders used to be under Madden.
Yep. Well, we had a couple guys that I wouldn't say, again, we were a little more elegant than these guys. We weren't sought by the law after the game kind of thing. I don't know what these guys were playing. But there's two other guys from the USVI. I want to definitely give them a shout out on. Is Mike Evans. He's a defensive tackle for St. Croix in 1992. He's a part of the early wave of the USVI players. And you got Ivan Caesar, linebacker, St. Thomas, 1991 pioneer, who showed how it could be done. It's 37 years. First of all, from 1987 to 2024, you had 37 years of continuous representation from the USVI in the NFL. I think that is wonderful as we think about this. And I'd love to see who else is out there, either in college right now, high school, that looks like a prospect, because we want to continue that kind of legacy.
I agree. And I mean, again, it's not just the NFL. We're focusing on the NFL today because it's Super Bowl. But I think about, I think her name is the young lady is Aaliyah Boston.
Oh, yeah.
St. Thomas represent, you know, and she's playing with probably the best female basketball player we've seen in a generation. And Caitlin Clark is only good because Aaliyah Boston is good.
She's a beast.
And talk about, carrying it forward. I believe Tim Duncan, kind of lightweight,
he plays some ball.
At least gives her guidance. And that's really what it's about. It's about keeping that production up, the mentorship and the access, and helping them navigate what they have to do as professionals.
I tell you, as we flip through the screen and we see some of these players, look at the size on these guys. Look at the longevity on these guys. And what you don't see pictured, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier, is the WILL. You got to have the will to go out there and play football. Football is not for the weak of heart. You're playing against the strongest, fastest guys on the planet. On the planet. And 11 of these guys came right out of the community of St. Croix, of St. Thomas, St. John, Water Island, all that, USVI, less than 100,000 people. They got the will to play the game. And that says a lot in my book. Now, we got a big lineup right here as far as the game, the matchup. The Seahawks, 14-3 versus the New England Patriots. Now, I'm going to go on record right now. I'm going to just say it. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to beat the brakes off of the New England Patriots. I feel it's going to happen because I follow football. And right now, these guys are on a roll. They've been stomping out the likes of the Rams. They've been stomping out the likes of the 49ers. These are quality quarterbacks. They're going to go in there against New England with this second-year guy who no one even thought in their first-year coach, and you think they're going to ride up in there and beat these Seahawks? I say no. What do you think?
I'm with you. So forget the facts. I have a grudge against New England. I want to see them lose. I love to see them lose as much as I love to see Dallas lose. And so I'm all the way Seahawks. I hope Seahawks get to redeem themselves from not giving it to beast mode when they should have.
Well, that was coaching, and I'm not even going to go back to the Russell Wilson day, and maybe that's not why they're there. They go, look, you got to give the Seahawks their props. They were pretty much, that era was kind of done. The coach is gone, the quarterback is gone, beast mode is retired, and then all of a sudden they started pulling it. I mean, and remember the defense. They had talk about a defensive backfield. They had a heck of a backfield out there.
That's when Sherman made his name.
Yep.
Sherman made his name during those years.
Big time.
Well, he jumped over to the 49ers after that.
Yeah. No, these guys they play football. So then you got to give them their props because within just a few years, they're back. They go out and go, and that shame on the Minnesota Vikings. Shame on the Minnesota Vikings. How in the heck are you going to get this guy who took you to a 14-win season? Well, we're going to put our backup who's unproven. He's now back from injuries. We'll stick and we'll get rid of Darnold. This guy does nothing but win. What is your problem?
I don't know, but I put some shade on New England. But I do have to give the New England Patriots organization their props because as an organization so it's not just, having Drew Bledsoe and then Tom Brady, but and Bill Belichick as a coach. That organization has an eye for talent and knowing how to put it back together because they're only a couple of years removed from Brady. And they're already back at the big show because you could make the argument that you're only there because of Brady and because of that particular team, but the organization already put together another team to be back at the big show. I can't stand them, but I got to give them their props.
So for the record, got to put it on the record. I lived in New England. I did. I lived in New England from 1991 to 1998. When I lived there, they were terrible. They were a horrible football team. They went out and got Parcells, and they started to kind of gel and put something together that make sense. And then we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to wrap all this up for you guys as a bow as we talk about this matchup that's about to take place. Thank you very much.
This Sunday, February 8th, 2026, pull up to Pizza Mari for the ultimate Super Bowl watch party. We got indoor and outdoor screens, the grill fired up, food and drink specials. The vibe and action ignites at 4 p.m. with pregame fun, music, drinks, and energy you do not want to miss. Prizes for best dressed jerseys and special giveaways all night. Happening in conjunction with One Connect, our sports channel, and 340 Connect. Live streaming on the Tempo Networks and The Source. Powered by Callaloo Media House. So bring your crew and bring the vibe. Pizza Mari Super Bowl. Watch Party. Sunday, February 8th. To learn more or book reservations now at www.340connect.com.
Imagine, if you will, a single point of connection that puts at your fingertips all of the things that we do in our daily lives with ease of access and convenience. Whether in your personal life, for work, travel, and entertainment with family, friends, and in your work life. The new One Connect app is all you need to make your life more manageable and efficient in maximizing the best use of your time. The One Connect app is your new connection in a world of busy people with lots to do and not enough time to get things done. One Connect app was created with you in mind and is all you need. Download One Connect app now. Also visit us at www.oneconnectapp.com.
I used to watch BET, MTV, VH1, now I watch Tempo. Soca, Calypso, Reggae Dance, oh, don't stall, better get tuned in to the Tempo. Don't have cable, they got an app. Go to your app store, download that. Whether it's tourism, cuisine, or the social scenes, if it ain't Tempo, it's a rap. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo. Who got the Caribbean views? Tempo. Mr. Latest in Caribbean news? Tempo. You tryna cook Caribbean food? Tempo. You know they got the music videos too? Tempo.
All right, everybody. I'm glad you're back. And before we wrap, we really got to get into this because this is what it's all about. It's about right now with these two teams, this rematch of the Super Bowl from back in 2015. Here we are in 2026, about 10 years or so. And we all know the Patriots won that game, but I wouldn't say it's controversial, but there was definitely the way they ended. If you're on the Patriots side, you're like, it was a beautiful game. It was a wonderful game. Let's play it again, right? And I was telling everybody, yes, I did live in New England from 91 to 98, usually before they got good. They were pretty bad, but then they started to get better and better and better. And to your point, Anthony, some of the culture started to stick. They started to really get into it, get the right players. They're about fundamental football. I think you're going to see that today. Fundamental football. They don't have a lot of what you would call superstars on their team. You know, their quarterback, their running back, their receivers. I think some of them, like Diggs, is on his way down, not up. You've got Booty, who's out there, and he's still unproven. They can make plays, but they play fundamental football on defense and offense and special teams. Patriots or the Seahawks are going to have to bring it in order to win this game and win it on the experience. I think on that quarterback arm is going to be the difference. What do you think, Anthony?
I agree with you. I think what I do respect about New England is that the systems that they have in place work. You can plug in, almost any player into the system once they have a certain skill level, and it works. And the Seahawks, this version of the Seahawks is different. They had a serious ground game, and my guy Marshawn Lynch, you could rely on that. They're receiver heavy this time, and that makes it a little bit, I don't want to say easier, but you can load up differently for receivers as opposed to the running game tends to tire your defense out, and then you kill them in the fourth quarter. So I think it's going to be an exciting game, and I think it's going to be decently high scoring because, again, it's not going to be that. I don't think it's going to be that old style smash mouth, run the ball and kill the clock kind of football. I think we're going to see some athleticism and hopefully some good play calling.
Well, people don't realize these teams have played before. I think it was 27-10 or something like that. Or maybe that was the Panthers. I'm not sure. Maybe there wasn't. Yeah, that was the Panthers, not the Patriots. But to your point, I'm just looking at how these Seahawks have gone through this season, who they have played, and how they have won. You would call it, a lot of times in the NFL, you don't get on these rolls that you're just winning week after week. I don't think these guys have lost in a long time, and they have played in a very, very tough division, and they know what it takes to win. That's why I believe that the Seahawks are going to be my favorite just because of their body of work. Now, the Patriots have won, but arguably the Dolphins are not that great a team. The Jets are pretty much hapless. And Buffalo, to me, is a one-man, maybe a two-man team. I don't think they've seen the likes of a Seahawk full 52-man roster that they're going to bring to the table in a hostile environment, which I'm thinking is going to be pro-Seahawk there just because they're on the West Coast. But underdogs do have a way, like, look, we're not expected to win. We're not expected to do much. However, I'm going to say the will to win, whoever has the greatest will, W-I-L-L, to go out there and compete will win the game. I'll leave it to you to end us off.
You know, I concur with you, and that's why we play these games, is because you never know. Any given team can beat any given team any day, and that's the excitement about it. And actually, I'm also looking forward to the halftime show. What do you think about this?
Bad Bunny.
What do you think about Bad Bunny?
Man, I'm loving Bad Bunny. As far as I'm concerned, he's from the Caribbean. He's going to bring that flavor. I don't care what the rest of the U.S. mainland might think or not think. I think, like, look, this is what we're doing today. Get with it.
I agree. Represent the Caribbean, the U.S. Caribbean, because Puerto Rico, those are our cousins.
That's right. That's right. We are one big happy family.
Yeah.
All right. Peace out, my brother. Enjoy the game.
All right, man. You too.
All right. Thank you.
This Sunday, February 8th, 2026, pull up to Pizza Mari for the ultimate Super Bowl watch party. We got indoor and outdoor screens, the grill fired up, food and drink specials. The vibe and action ignites at 4 p.m. with pregame fun, music, drinks, and energy you do not want to miss. Prizes for best dressed jerseys and special giveaways all night. Happening in conjunction with One Connect, our sports channel, and 340 Connect. Live streaming on the Tempo Networks and The Source. Powered by Callaloo Media House. So bring your crew and bring the vibe. Pizza Mari Super Bowl. Watch Party. Sunday, February 8th. To learn more or book reservations now at www.340connect.com.